All right, welcome back. In the last video, we learned about geometric sequences and we learned about the formula. And I'm going to refresh you on that formula in case it's been a day or so since you watched it. That formula is A sub n equals A1 times R, and we always put that R in parentheses because it helps us avoid mistakes with negatives. And then the n minus 1 is in the exponent. That is so important. A lot of you forget to put it in the exponent, so be careful. So questions 10 through 12 are just like the last three examples from the previous problem. So I want you right now to pause the video and I want you to test yourself to see if you can do it. Look back at yesterday's to see kind of what we did yesterday. And see if you can go ahead and finish these three problems. All right, for number 10, your formula, your generic formula, the one that works for any term, an equals 8 times 3 to the n minus 1 power. And then define the sixth term, which is A6 or A sub 6. That would be 8 times 6. Oh, I'm sorry. Nope. 8 times 3 to the 6 minus 1 power, which is 1,944. Number 11, an equals 135 times your R is 2/3. Please do not put 0.6 or 0.7 or 0.67. Any fraction, any third, 1/3 or 2/3 is repeating. So you'll get your answer will be off if you just round that decimal. So make sure you're putting that fraction in. 2/3 to the n minus 1 power. And then if we're going to find that seventh term, I want to fill that 7n for n. So all I did was replace the n with 7. And we get 11.852. And number 12. This is what your formula should look like, your rule or your explicit formula. An equals negative 3,200 times negative 1/4 to the n minus 1 power. Negative 1/4 is negative 0.25. It does stop there, so if you wrote negative 0.25, that is okay in this instance, but writing a fraction is always going to be safer. And then we find the sixth term. Plug in 6, and we get 3.125. All right, so numbers 13 through 15, we're looking at missing terms. And if we did this with arithmetic sequences, and I reminded you that, in arithmetic, it would be plus D, but this is not arithmetic. And this system, that way of solving them does work. I'm just going to show you a different way to kind of just keep using that formula. So we're just going to assume that this is A1, A2, and A3. And we're going to use this in the formula. So my formula, AN equals A1 times r to the n minus 1 power. So I know that A3 equals 100. So if I replace the n with 3, it looks like that. You can replace the n with whatever you want. So I know that A3 is 100. A1 is 4. I don't know my r. And 3 minus 1 I know is 2. So 100 equals 4r squared. And I've got to figure out how to solve this. I need to find r in order to fill in that blank. So if we were solving this equation, I would divide both sides by 4. 25 equals r squared. And then how do you get rid of the squared? To get rid of the squared, you're going to find the square root. The square root of 25 is 5. So that means that my ratio, my r, is 5. So to fill in the blank, I'm going to take 4 times 5, and that is 20. And then if I check, 20 times 5 is, in fact, 100. For number 4, we're going to follow that same system. This time I have a 4. It's 13.5. So a 4 equals a 1 times r to the 4 minus 1, because I'm replacing the n with 4 since I have a 4. So when I fill in what I know that A4 is 13.5. I know that A1 is 4. I don't know my R, and I know 4 minus 1 is 3. I get 13.5 equals 4r cubed. And I'm going to divide both sides by 4. It won't always be 4. These problems just happen to both start at 4. I'm going to get 3.375 equals r cubed. Now the way to get rid of the cubed is not a square root, but it's a cubed root. And I'll show you on the calculator how to take the cubed root. So you're going to hit, on your calculator, you're going to hit the math button. And if you look at number 4, notice there's a little 3 there by the square root. That's the cubed root of 3.375. And we get 1.5. So my R is 1.5, and that's going to help me fill in the blanks. 4 times 1.5 is 6. 6 times 1.5 is 9, and 9 times 1.5 is 13.5. All right, number 15. Pause the video and see if you can try or complete number 15 on your own. All right, number 15. We get, if this would be A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. So 1250 equals 2 times r to the 5 minus 1 power. Oh, mercy. I'm going to divide both sides by 2. $625 equals r to the 4th. To get rid of that 4th, I'm going to take the 4th root. I'm going to take the 4th root, and on your calculator, hit math. There's not a 4th root. So if I hit 5, when I hit 5, that gives me the option of typing in that little box and typing in whatever root I want. So the 4th root of 625 is 5. And if I fill in my blanks, 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 5 is 50. Times 5 is 250. All right, 3 more examples and then we're done. Number 16 gives us the 8th term and the r, and we're asked to find the first term. So when you have a problem and you don't know exactly how to solve it, think about everything you've learned. And let's just look at our formula. The formula won't always help us, but it might this time. So we can use if we know that A8, I'm going to replace all of my n's with 8. And I know that the 8th term is 114,688. I know that A1, well actually I don't know what A1 is, that's what I'm finding. I know that the r is 4 and 8 minus 1 is 7. And if I take 4 to the 7th power, you get 16,384. And then I'm going to divide both sides. By 16,384. And we get 7 equals A1. And that's what the question asked for. Right, number 17. This one gives us 2 random terms, the A1 and A4, and we're asked to find A3. This is actually just like number 14. We were given A1, A4, and in number 14, we had to find A2 and A3. So same kind of thing, it just looks a little different. So if we look at our formula, since we're given a 4, I'm going to plug that in for n. And I know that A4, excuse me, (4,459) equals 13r cubed. And if I divide both sides by 13, we get 343 equals r cubed. And then I'm going to take the cubed root. And you should remember how to do that in your calculator. If not, go back a little bit and watch me show you in the calculator. And the cubed root of 343 is 7. So that means that my r is 7. So if I go back up here to my formula, I can replace the r with 7, and I know that a1 is 13. So I can use that to find any term that I want. So if I want to find a3, I can do 13 times 7 to the 3 minus 1 power, and we get 637. And then number 18, I want you really quick to change that to 1, that to 4, and that to 3. So this problem follows exactly like number 17. So right now, pause the video and then try to answer number 18, and then you can play it to see if you got it right. All right, your formula when we started out, you should have written something like this: 0.048 equals 6 times r to the 4 minus 1 power. And then if you divide by 6, you get 0.008 equals r cubed. And then if you take the cubed root, you get 0.2 equals r. And we're going to use that to find the third term. So this first line here, I just wrote the generic formula out that would work for any term. And then I filled in 3 for n. And then you can just type that in your calculator. You get 0.24. And that is your third term. As always, if you have any specific problems, feel free to email me. And if you have a lot of questions or you need a lot of help, I don't care at all to set up a one-on-one Google Meet. I am planning on Friday doing a Google Meet session where you can log on and ask questions, but that'll be open for the whole class. But if I ever do a Google Meet and you really feel like you need the help, but you can't get on at the time, then we'll do a one-on-one session, and that's perfectly fine too. So just let me know what I can do to help you out, and have a great day.